Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages. It's that time once again. It's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Saturday, April 27th, 2024. And yes, I was late. I was literally sitting at my computer and just not looking at the clock. I've got all these tabs open, and I was seeing if there was any last second stories I wanted to cover, and legitimately, I, I I've been trying to do this thing where I find some funny gifs or find some interesting gifs and play it in the background with a little countdown, give people time to get the notification and get in here. So I was going to do like a 5 minute countdown after the stream went live. Yeah, nope. Nope, I'm a minute late. I was a minute late getting the theme song going, so I'm like more like 3 minutes late. Okay. So, yeah, let me go ahead and drinking the Knob Creek Rye yet again today. If you would like a toast or a shout out, feel free to say something in the chat. We're live over on YouTube, Rumble, and X today. And if you say hello, I'll show your comment on screen and give you a little toast. So feel free to and do all the goodness. Feel free to join the conversation on any of those platforms. Cheers to everybody out there. All right, folks. So first off, I need to do this. Let's share this. So prayers go out to everyone in Nebraska, Iowa. And today there are more heavy storms beating the middle of the country, including where I'm at. So if I happen to if the stream gets cut in the middle of the stream, it's because we're having a severe thunderstorm as we speak that might turn into a tornado. It's a tornado watch. So we're under tornado watch here in uh, central eastern Kansas, and yeah, I hear that tornado. The tornado watches and warnings are stringing all the way from Nebraska to Oklahoma. And so, prayers to everyone out there. Also, I wanted to show, I closed that tab already. I wanted everyone's opinion. Maybe I should save this for the end of the show when we get a bunch more people. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to save that for the end of the show when we got a bunch more people. I'm going to try to remember. So you may remember my last show was heavily about a specific word. I was covering a specific word. Folks, we are so back. We got Elon Musk talking about basically someone having an opinion that he should go to jail on Enron charges. And yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah, what a R word. Yeah, and then he proceeds to apologize to him, but he posted it on Twitter. So all of these people we covered last week saying that it was against Twitter terms of service to say that word. Guess not. Guess not. Or should I say X terms of service? So a few stories that we're not going to be covering on the show today. We have Las Vegas businesses, Secret Service and police skimmed a bunch of skimming devices. I guess they're becoming more and more popular. 18 on Friday. So we're not going to necessarily be covering that. We're not going to be covering any of the Joe Biden news. I'm aware that he had yet another moment where he read the directions part of the teleprompter and was like, 4 more years, pause. And I'm aware that he needed aides to help him walk across the lawn of the White House. And I'm aware that he's made some interesting comments on Howard Stern. We're not necessarily going to be covering any of those on this show today, but I am aware of them, and you should be too. Definitely feel free to check those out. One last thing that we're not really going to be covering in depth. We have a train carrying fuel derailing at the Arizona New Mexico state line, causing the interstate to close. Eastbound lanes of I-40. So, yeah, we have yet more train derailments with more dangerous shit happening. Okay, now let's get into the actual news here. From WSMV, Tennessee Governor Lee signs a bill to arm teachers in school. Governor Lee has signed the bill that allows teachers to arm themselves in schools. It goes into effect immediately. Immediately. Several school districts have said they will not allow their teachers to carry weapons in schools. This is a developing story. Check back for updates. Lee made the announcement during a press conference following the end of the House and Senate for the legislative session. The bill passed the House on Tuesday. I'm assuming this is because this is part of the breaking update. Oh, it was originally published yesterday. Okay, so here we go. Bill passed the House on Tuesday after passing the Senate last week. There's been a lot of debate on both sides about whether teachers should be armed. Lee said Thursday he thinks it will keep the kids safer at school. I do plan on signing the legislation, which he now has, and I think we need to be really clear about what this does. What's important to me is we give the districts tools and the options to use the tool that will keep their children safe in schools. The bill will require teachers to go through 40 hours of gun training, a background check, psych eval, and approval of school leaders and police. Several school systems, including Metro Nashville, Sumner, Williamson, and Rutherford counties, have said they would not allow their teachers to be armed. So there we go. Letting the teachers take care of business over in Tennessee. At least, the not Nashville and those few other counties. Okay, folks. So again, one of our previous shows, I don't remember if it was the last one or the one before, I was covering a lot of the propaganda around these protests. I think it was the last show. Pretty sure it was the last show. I was covering the propaganda around these protests. And I said, some of this seems a little bit fake. Some of this seems a little bit astroturf. And of course, a lot of people on the internet were saying so. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I fucking called it. I fucking called it. And not only did I call it, we're debuting two new segments of the show today. Two new segments of the show today. The first one, psyops, thirst traps, shit posts, and grifts. So yeah, we called the psyop, and here we go. New York Post. George Soros is paying student radicals who are fueling the nationwide explosion of Israel-hating protests. George Soros and his hard-left acolytes are paying agitators who are fueling the explosion of radical anti-Israel protests at colleges across the country. The protests, which began when students took over Columbia University's Morningside Heights campus lawn last week, have mushroomed nationwide. Copycat tent cities have been set up at colleges including Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, Ohio State University, and Emory in Georgia, all of them organized by branches of the Soros-funded Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP. And at some, students have clashed with police. Now here we have an interesting Fed op map. An op map. Oh, I missed the comment. Hey, we got Billdozer74. Cheers, brother. Good work on your new live streaming, man. I caught part of your first, most of your first one, and I caught a little bit of your second one, and yeah, I've been seeing you super chatting into all the big wigs, man. They really love you, and thank you for stopping by. And cheers and welcome. Yep, same tent, same sign, same everything. That's what happens when you're funded by these groups. As I was saying yesterday, your average college student can't pay to get a bunch of shit screen printed. You know, uh, Organizations and funding is the only way to get that shit done. The parent organization has been funded by a network of nonprofits, ultimately funded by, among others, by Soros, the billionaire left-wing investor. At three colleges, the protests are being encouraged by paid radicals who are fellows of a Soros-funded group called the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. I wonder if that was that young lady we saw on the previous video who went from one campus to another and didn't know why she was at New York University. USCPR provides up to $7,800 for its community-based fellows and between 2880 and 3660 for its campus-based fellows in return for spending 8 hours a week organizing campaigns led by Palestinian organizations. So again, we on this show, we watch these videos all the time of these college students whining about how poor and broke they are. Well, if you're George Soros, offer them a little bit of cheddar to raise a little bit of hell. They're trained to rise up to revolution. The radical group received at least 300,000 from the Open Society Foundation since 2017 and also took in $355,000 from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund. Fun times. And of course, yeah, you see all the same tents, the same tents. Columbia University, UUT Austin. Okay. Well, I'm going to kind of skip the rest of this because this is going to be, well, you got this Berkeley's Malik Afana, co-president of the Berkeley Law Students for Justice in Palestine. So they're just going to they're going to name them. If you're interested in this story, please check it out at the New York Post. If you're interested in names. But there's one name that's kind of interesting in all this, and that is Bernie Sanders from The Guardian. Sanders hits back at Netanyahu. It's not anti-Semitic to hold you accountable. So here we go. This is becoming quickly a left-right thing. Bernie Sanders hit back fiercely at Benjamin Netanyahu over the Israeli prime minister's claim that U.S. universities were being overrun by anti-Semitism on a scale comparable to Nazism in Germany. In a video posted on X, I should have just brought that up. Accused Netanyahu of insulting the intelligence of the American people by using anti-Semitism to distract us attention from the policies of this extremist and racist government in the military offensive in Gaza. So, yeah. Bernie Sanders and Netanyahu having a battle of words. So, okay, here we go. Also in the PsyOps thirst trap shit posts and grifts, I ran across this right before I went live. So forgive me if you've seen this but this was posted today. This is at C Riley 5 on Twitter, and he says, if you're not tipping 28% at restaurants, then stay home. It's a slap in the face to the hardworking people preparing and serving your food. 20% was the 2014 standard. Times have changed. Get with it. And then so here you have, and then don't contact any of these people. Don't harass these people. But I find this interesting because this post seemingly came out of nowhere and gained all kinds of traction. Right? So you got this Mike Waffle who says this makes no logical sense. The food prices went up. That means the tips went up. That's how percentages work. Now, if people started tipping 5 instead of 20% due to higher prices, okay, stay home. I just want to say, I tip way more than 20% usually, especially because most of the time I just drink water now because I don't drink soda pop or anything anymore. So I don't have a drink. I tend to order specials. And so, I feel like by being cheap, I'm cheapening the percentage that I would give the server. And I'm not trying to do that. So I tend to tip way more than 20%. But anyway, that's just me. And then he says, okay, so here's where the bullshit comes in. He says, I don't make the rules. It's the latest from the NTUAP, the National Tipping Association updated protocols. And hang on, let me do something real quick. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. I just, so first, I did a Google search for NTAUP, right? And nothing came up. And so then I did a search on X for NTAUP, and literally all I got was people replying to this guy. Really? Yeah, there's nothing. There's literally nothing on Twitter, nothing on Google. And I just did a DuckDuckGo for just National Tipping Association. And yeah, I just got restaurant.org, restaurant, yeah. And then Ford Foundation crying about more tips, about people not tipping. Yeah. There is no National Tipping Association. This guy is lying. This guy is literally lying for clout. This is a psyop. Hey, Bill Dozer saying he's gotten some decent tips today delivering DoorDash. Well, cheers, brother. Cheers to that. You gotta love it when people tip their dashers properly. Couple no tippers, but most have been decent. Yes, yes. So yeah, there was that. Okay, I don't know how that got in between these two stories, but back to the Gaza protests, right? Back to the Gaza protests. So this has been a great week for viral videos of people being arrested. So let's just take in some of those. Why don't we? Get on the ground, I said. Get on the ground. Oh my God! Don't wrap it down! Oh my God! Give me some cops! Oh my God! On the concrete! Oh my God! Oh my God! You people are fascists! You are Hitler! You are a laughing dog! Shame on you! I am a professor. Yeah, that's not gonna change anything, lady. Once they've decided you're fucked, you just gotta stop fucking wriggling around and let them take you. That's the unfortunate thing is, yeah, that's not gonna stop anybody. And this one's from Emory University in Georgia. This one's great. Help! Oh, hang on. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Ow! 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 Just straight up picks him up like a fucking rag doll. Oh, there goes your fucking bottle of water, dude. Look, you're hurting me. You even got a chick walking past laughing at him. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna remove that for a second while I bring up the next one. Okay, so this one was from New York City. It was earlier in the week. This one was earlier in the week. This wasn't an arrest. This was okay. So this goes back to the again. Let me bring it up. Psyops, search traps, shit posts, and grifts. Okay, so this is more psyop here. So what I've been saying is that both sides of this are controlled. Both sides. So not only do you have these dumb kids, right? So this imagine this. This happens to both sides. So not just these Palestine protests, but this happens to conservatives too. This is January 6th all over again. So what happens is you have people paid to be there and protest and organize the shit, right? You have, big business paying for these fucking people to create these protests, right? But then on the back end, you have government agents or you have other paid provocateurs paid to make the whole fucking thing look bad, right? Either that or feds who are there to make the whole fucking thing look bad. This was a video taken in New York earlier this week. It was at Viral News NYC. So the person's face that's a freeze frame from this video because they did not want their face shown on camera. They've got that fucking COVID mask around their chin. They did not want their face shown on camera. In fact, they get pretty aggressive about this. And the reports are that this person was trying to start trouble and trying to kind of get people aggroed in the crowd so that they would react violently.
Oh, it's a public street.
The worst part about this that's going to happen is one more thing. The worst part that's going to happen about this is when I write my essay and I print my photos, I'm going to be taking a picture of that lady holding an umbrella in someone's face. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to tell everybody.
So this person's just a journalist trying to report, and he's just like, "Get out of my face! Get the camera out of here! No, 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 no!" And he's like, "No, look, I'm going to try to take a picture of this lady. I'm going to be covering this. I'm going to be doing a story on it." He's like, "No, no, go, go." Do you want to get knocked out?
Do not touch me. Then get the fuck out my face.
Do not touch me, Oren.
Get the fuck out my
Levy,
face.
do not touch me.
I don't care what you call me. Get away from me. What do you guys think? You're on the fucking street? Get out of here.
No. This guy's totally fine. This is the right-wing person that I was trying to tell you about. Please, can you just leave us alone?
The story changes when you guys put a bill.
I got your face.
So he calls him right wing. I think more likely he's like a police op or something,
I got your face now.
or maybe a Jewish shill. I don't know. But you definitely have psyops on both sides of this. Protesting is dangerous business because everything becomes a fucking psyop. You don't know who you can trust out there. You assume you can trust people, but can you really? You want to. Trust me, man. I was doing this thing fucking 15 years ago. All right, let's get into the title story. If you've been anywhere on conservative or even left-wing Twitter over the last few days, you know the reference down in the description. I'm going to bring this up. This is the screenshot of an article covering Kristi Noem. Now, the thing is, if you're not familiar with the story, former Governor Kristi Noem, she is currently under a lot of heavy fire from people on both sides, but mostly leftists. Because, she wrote a book, and in that book, she detailed some pretty intimate parts of her life. And as such, she was talking about, being a hunter and a farmer and raising animals. And she detailed an incident where she had to kill her own puppy. And, of course, people are extremely, extremely upset by this. This is the screenshot here. Cricket, the untrainable dog, behaved like a, quote, trained assassin. When Noem finally grabbed Cricket, she says the dog... Now, Cricket is... Cricket is the dog. The dog whipped around to bite me. Then as the chicken's owner, so the dog went after a chicken. Hey, we got Sanglan 86. Cheers and welcome, brother. Road trip? Really? Road trip? I'm considering a road... Well, not exactly a road trip, but a short trip. Prison guard shoes. Yeah. That's something definitely to look out for if you're at these protests. It's real easy to focus on people's faces and the way they're dressed, but whether or not they're wearing gloves and whether or not they're wearing combat boots, and paying real close attention to like what kind of brands of combat boots, because there are a lot of brands that they sell in those uniform stores that aren't in typical like shoe stores or industry work stores. So those work boots can sometimes be a dead giveaway. Anyway, so again, the dog attacked the neighbor's chicken. She went to grab the dog. The dog tried to bite her. Noem repeatedly apologized, wrote the shocked family a check for the price they asked, and helped them dispose of the carcasses littering the scene of the crime. Through it all, Cricket was the picture of pure joy. So the dog was clearly having the time of its life, having slaughtered several chickens. I hated that dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket had proved herself untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with, and less than worthless as a hunting dog. At that moment, I realized I had to put her down. Noem, who also represented her state in Congress for 8 years, got her gun, then led Cricket to a gravel pit. And so she kind of responded to the outrage here. We love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm. Sadly, we just had to put down 3 horses a few weeks ago that have been in our family for 25 years. If you want more real, honest, and politically incorrect stories that'll have the media gasping, pre-order her book. And, again, a lot of people are saying, okay, so let me just highlight one of the things people are saying. This is from our friend of the show, Megan Fox. Like, at least, friendly to the show. Anyone who thinks grabbing a dog's collar when they're in the middle of a chicken killing frenzy is a good idea shouldn't own dogs. That's what e-collars and boots are for. And if you don't use those things, you get bit. That's your own damn fault. Now, okay. For one, not everyone has electric collars pre-rigged in case a dog goes crazy. Like, it's quite possible, like, the dog was crazy, but no one expected it to attack animals. Again, if you're training it to be a hunting dog and you're trying to train it, I saw a few people tweet that there's no such thing as an untrainable dog. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. For example, my dog Just was right here next to me. I would totally show her on the screen here. She's a pit bull. When we adopted her, we were told outright, keep her away from other animals. We have neighbor dogs, and I can tell this dog is extremely lonely. She really wants to be able to play with another dog. But the 2 times we've had another dog around her, she has viciously attacked it. And we've had to pull her off, and we have to literally keep her alone. It there are dogs that cannot be trained. Period. There are animals. This is the same thing with pedophiles. To say a dog, there's no untrainable dog, is saying like there's no unredeemable pedophile. No, it's bullshit. It is bullshit. There are some people who just have evil in their heart, who have violence in their soul. And look, I'm not trying to get into a whole spiritual debate. A spiritual debate about nature and nurture here. I'm not necessarily trying to do all that. But definitely there are times when a dog exhibits a behavior and Christy Noem, I'm not saying she had to kill it, because I definitely wouldn't kill my dog. Not saying she had to kill it, but there becomes a point when you just look at an animal after it has done something like that, as she just described in that story. When you just look at an animal and you can just see it in their eye, and you just know, you literally just know that this animal is not redeemable. This animal does not have a kind soul. Unfortunately, my dog fucking loves people, right? My dog has never showed any kind of aggression toward humans, except for the ones committing mischief out on the street. My dog, every time a human gets near her, she'll roll over and want belly rubs. And that goes for children too. She's not a vicious pit bull. She's only vicious against other dogs. But you can tell when there's behavior that's not going to change. You got to do what you got to do. And if you're on a farm, yeah, granted, maybe she could have gave the dog away. Maybe she could have done a lot of things differently to where she didn't have to shoot it in the fucking head. But you also have to understand, when you're on a farm and you see animals put down, the idea that you're going to hang on to this animal until it can be properly adopted by someone that can take the time, someone that can work with the dog and keep it isolated from anything it would be violent against. You know, we're lucky that we were that kind of family for our dog. But ultimately, not a lot of dogs, not a lot of these dogs with behavior issues have that. And so, yeah, sometimes the best thing is to just put the dog out of its misery, unfortunately. Now, I'm all for no-kill animal shelters and trying to hang on to these animals as long as we can and try to rehabilitate them as much as we can, but that's not always possible. All right, folks. Let's move on, because this whole topic's just, you know, the internet's going to be divided on it. You know, there's going to be another one of these fucking psyops, right? And quite frankly, it's also a grift because Noem's just trying to use it to sell her book. But it is what it is. So here we go. Let's watch this real quick. Let's hear what this woman has to say about the patriarchy.
You ever notice how white men just get wildly offended when you confront them with their privilege? They have a visceral reaction to it. How dare you call me out on my ability to not be oppressed because I'm...
Oh, really? Is that what you're doing? Right? Our privilege. Our ability to not be oppressed. I mean, first off, you know, it's like let's tailor this. Are you mad at white people or are you mad at men? Because quite frankly, white women have a lot of fucking privilege too. White fucking women have a lot of fucking privilege too.
I'm so busy oppressing other people. And what is their first go-to response?
Oppressing other people. Now, what? Okay, so what white guys are you hanging out with, lady, who are proud of oppressing other people? Who are your friends? I don't hang out with people who oppress other people. Who are you hanging out with?
Racist. First thing they want to do every time is call you a racist when you confront them with the fact that everyone else is living a different lifestyle than they are, as if it's just some weird coincidence the majority of them get to own property and wealth, like that's just circumstantial. Oh, it's circumstantial. All right, the whole reason you're able to live that way is because you've gaslit yourself into believing that you've earned it.
Yeah, I did earn it, because here's the thing. I had a credit score of like 300, or, you know, whatever the fucking lowest you can get. Shortly after high school, I had all these medical bills. I had child support. I was behind on my fucking child support. I had a shit credit score. But you know what? I saved a bunch of money. And then with that money, I went and got secured credit cards and secured loans. And I set myself a budget, right? I was living in a fucking apartment, working 2 jobs. I set myself a fucking budget. I crawled myself out of a ditch. Literally and figuratively. I was nearly homeless. I was unemployed for almost a year and got so far behind on child support, I was minutes away from being thrown in jail when one of my friends was willing to give me a loan so that I could take a money order to the courthouse with me to stay out of jail. The next day, I started work and was able to pay that person back. I went from that and eating out of dumpsters and stealing food from places I worked at, to being able to get secured loans that I had to apply for just like anyone else, build my credit score, save money for a down payment, and now I'm making mortgage on a property that I fucking earned. So don't tell me I didn't fucking earn this. Fuck you.
You didn't earn that company, you inherited it. You didn't earn that land, you inherited it.
Okay, so again, so all businesses are inherited now by white people. All land is now inherited by white people, right? None of us have had to go through generational poverty. I mean, these fucking people are living in a delusional fucking hellscape. These people, literally, their brain says, "Oh, all property, all white people have owned all the property forever, and it's all just been handed down through generations, and none of us have to go to fucking work." Now, granted, they say, if you get mad when someone says something categorical, then that means you're identifying as that. And maybe she's not talking about guys like me. But you know what? This is part of the fucking problem. This is part of the fucking problem. Why do white men say you're racist? Well, that's why. Because when we say you're racist, you're looping. Just say the fucking elites. Just say rich people. Look at you in your fucking dog apron. Hey, we got conspiracy music in the chat. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you out there. Check out the music Conspiracy Music's putting on his channel. Cool stuff, man. Love hearing the things you play. Tell me she's not living some sense of privilege. Tell me that women nowadays don't get a certain element of privilege.
You didn't earn that wealth. You inherited it. It's generational wealth. It's called the patriarchy. You ever notice?
Okay. Don't tell me what I inherited. Because I couldn't even afford to bury my mother. All right, folks. So we're after dealing with racism, and this is kind of a theme of the whole show, right? Is so far we've just seen a bunch of white people acting weird, right? But that's going to be this is going to be the debut of a new segment here we're going to do on Saturdays. We're not getting rid of Love Does Admonish. We're going to even cover that today. But we're going to be doing a new segment where we're going to be doing some viral videos of white people doing cheesy shit. And it's called Crackers and Cheese. So are you ready for the Crackers and Cheese segment? Crackers and Cheese segment. This is things only white people would think of doing. And so here we go. Here's a viral clip of 4 white guys trying to get a shark back into the ocean.
Hey, that's too dangerous. Don't be doing that.
Look at his teeth. Oh my God, he's suffering. He's fucking suffering. You see this thing? You got these three guys still trying to drag it in. Look at that thing's teeth. It could flip at any time and just take that guy's arm or head right off. And he's like, I don't care. I don't care. I have compassion for this beast.
No, it's not dead.
It's not dead.
Where's...
And there it goes. There it goes. Okay, so there you go. You have white men. White men are not oppressors. They are compassionate beings. Or at least most of them, when they're not feds. So, speaking of all the feds and psyops and crackers, we've had this going on today. Our good friends over at Patriot Front are once again marching in West Virginia. Very, very cracker behavior. Hey, I gotta have some respect for their drummer at least, even if the rest of these feds are just provocateurs. I mean, just look at that. Hang on, let me go back to that. Look at that guy. Look at this guy right here. Look at the way he's dressed. You cannot tell me that's not a Fed. Who else likes a bunch of shit in the pockets up on the upper chest? Like, who likes that shit? Feds do. Feds do. Feds and Second Amendment LARPers. Look, there's another one. There's another one. Pockets up on the chest. Fucking LARPers, man. Shout out to Dickies brand pants. All right, folks. Okay, so last segment in the crackers and cheese. Last segment in the crackers and cheese part of the show. Britney Spears, this is from People Magazine. Britney Spears and her father, Jamie, have settled their legal dispute over her conservatorship. The father and daughter settled over an undisclosed sum after 2.5 years legal battle. Britney and Jamie have settled an ongoing dispute of legal fees after the first filing in December 2021. More than 2 years after the conservatorship ended, that gave her father control over her life. The pair settled a dispute over legal fees. Both parties' attorneys confirmed with People magazine that the pair settled for an undisclosed sum in the Los Angeles Superior Court on Thursday. Although the conservatorship was terminated in November 2021, her wish for freedom is now truly complete, Spears' attorney Matthew Rosengart said in a statement. As she desired, her freedom now includes that she will no longer need to attend or be involved with court or entangled with legal proceedings in the matter. Britney Spears won when the court suspended her father, and Britney Spears won when her fundamental rights and civil liberties were restored, Rosengart continued. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but let's just say, can you think of something else to do besides dancing funny on fucking Instagram? Can you do something else with your fucking life? Can you like sing some songs? Anyway, so I'm gonna do an interesting little video I found, and then we'll get into Love Does Admonish. Check out this. So this is something white people do, I guess. White people go to baseball games and chase around geese.
Move it. Oh yeah, he likes the dirt instead. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Quick.
Just gotta hang out at third base. Nope.
Quick, get that launch
Nope. Hey.
Working it. Nope. We ain't going anywhere. No. Worked all night to get these seats.
This bird looks tired. The bird looks tired, but he's finally getting a little bit of air. All right. It's gonna make it. It's gonna make it out of the stadium.
He's in cruise control now.
Boom!
Right into the scoreboard. Down goes the goose. Oh, the poor thing.
Oh man, this poor lady's covered in feathers now. Oh, that was great. Let's go back a little bit. Boom! Hit the damn side scoreboard and fell into that right next to that fucking lady, man. That lady was like, what the hell's going on? All right, so that was our crackers and cheese segment. Crackers and cheese segment for April 27th, 2024. All right. Let me know if you like that segment. Oh, Sanglet must be talking about the Patriot Front here. It would be funny for someone dressed like them to slip in and start doing military chants. Yeah. That would be great. And they wouldn't know because your fucking face is covered. Damn feds. Damn psyop. All right, so I guess we'll do Love Does Admonish. This might be a shorter one. I skipped this one before because it was so short, but we'll check this out. So this is let me go ahead and put up the logo up here. Love Does Admonish. So if you're not familiar with the Love Does Admonish segment of my show, there's this YouTube channel called Love Don't Judge. And on Love Don't Judge, they like to show unique relationships and why they're receiving a lot of hate on the internet. and ask us, why do you have to hate us just because we're a little different? And then here on Miles Culture Plate, we like to look at these relationships and say, well, do you deserve a little bit of admonishment? Is your love just a little too out of left field? Because you wouldn't be asking if you didn't feel a little bit guilty, and you wouldn't be showing it on the internet. But we'll find out here. So this is, we're judged for my wife's plastic appearance. Love don't judge.
This is Harry. He
Harry
fell in love with
Sonja.
Sonia.
Okay. What? I'm sorry. I'm judging already. I'm judging, and I can't even. Like, you actually put your mouth on this person. What the fuck?
Just met Sonia. It was like, whoa, is this real? Take my chance and ask her for a cup of coffee.
I mean,
and they've now been happily married for 5 years.
5 years.
Sonia has had many plastic surgeries over the years.
Oh my god, she was actually kind of cute. Let me go back to that. Oh no.
Is this real?
I gotta see that again.
Ask her for a cup of coffee.
And they've now been happily married for 5 years. Sonia has had many plastic.
What the hell? What was wrong with her there? Why the fucking tattoo? Like what? Like, don't get me wrong. This guy seems like a guy's guy to some degree, and seems like the kind of guy that would be interested in the blonde plastic kind of chick. So I'm not necessarily judging yet. They seem kind of right for each other in a way, right?
Surgeries over the years.
People saying rude comments about our relationship.
And after a health scare.
Is he Russian?
Last year, I get infection. I have to remove my.
I think they're both like from Soviet
really
countries.
Hard time for me.
They're both concerned about the repercussions of any future operations.
Oh.
I don't want to take so big risk anymore.
So you've already had bad side effects from your plastic surgery. Imagine fucking that. But you don't want to receive online hate for it.
But I take only small risks. So I was wondering if I can get
Dare to be different on her shirt.
I have had, well, obviously breast implants and tummy tuck and liposuction in this area. I take my first.
Okay, so chat, does she sound a little masculine to you? Her voice sounds really fucking deep. So either she's a smoker or something. You think maybe they lift weights together and maybe she's getting a little testosterone?
Breast implants when I was 18 years old. The inspiring I get from adult magazines, I was like, oh my god, I want to look like that. And years later, here we are.
We have been. Hey, we got neurodivergent one in the chat. Cheers and welcome. Yeah, this seems like a dude to me, but that old picture, it looks like a cute woman. I don't get it, but maybe not. Maybe not. Cheers. Good seeing you here.
About 5 years.
First, I saw Sonia in Pomper magazine cover. Then I started to follow her in social media. And one day, I just saw her in one gas station. So I take my chance and ask her for a cup of coffee. When I first met Sonia, it was like, whoa, is this real? Can this be happening?
Today I have appointment for a plastic surgery consult and we can talk about what I'm planning to do next. So I'm quite excited.
I want to be in an appointment because I want to support Sonia and to make her happy.
And you know what they say about
he wants to be at her appointment.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Very fine, thank you. I have recovered and breasts are healing so well. When you are doing so crazy things like I do, then can happen. Last year, it totally hit me because I went bigger and I get infection and that's why I have to remove.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go back a second. Okay, that ass. Is that ass fake or not? It doesn't look fake. It looks too too oddly shaped. It's not the bubble. It's not the bubble BBL. Yeah, I think that's a real ass. Kind of like it.
I went
But yeah, like you'd have to cut her whole fucking torso off for me to be any kind of interested in it.
bigger and I get infection, and that's why I have to remove my breast implants. So I was like 5.5 months without implants.
Okay, that really looks like a dude there. I don't know. What the fuck?
That was really hard time for me, but thank God I have my family support me. I have quite big scar, so I was wondering if it's possible to do something about the scar and if I can get a little bit more feeling. So
More feeling. More feeling. More. Oh my God, did you not hear about the side effects before you went through it? God damn.
Try your breasts because if they are soft, then it's possible to enhance the size a little bit.
Enhance.
The
You want them
healing
bigger?
is still in process. So I think that it's better that we wait for 2 months before the surgeon decides what would be the wisest way to refine your scars.
Okay.
Regarding the breasts, there are risks involved. And as you have experienced, there is
Yeah, it could be
possibility
catfish.
that there will be leakage or rupture.
Oh
Many
yeah,
things
leakage, rupture,
to
many
think
things. Yeah.
about
No, I don't
before
care. Just send me
deciding to
under the
go
knife
through
again.
this operation.
I don't think about consequences. I just do what I want.
we have a
Oh my
son,
God, they have a
Lenny.
kid.
He is 4 years old, and
How can you willingly
it's,
go through fucking
changed
risky
my
surgeries
view for
over and
plastic
over and over
surgery.
again when you have a kid that young?
Before I get him, I was totally like, I take huge risk and I didn't care if something happened. But in these days, I always think that if something happens, is it worth it? Because I definitely want to be here with him and with
But
family.
yet you just asked to get rid of your scars.
Näytäpä sisään, Teemu.
Be proud of your fucking scars.
Last summer
If
when
that's what
I
you want to
lost
be.
my breast implants, he asked me that, "Mommy, are you all right?" And I asked him that, "Do you mean that can mommy play with you without breast implants?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Of course I can play with you." And he was like, "Okay, good." Wow.
So maybe not a dude, I guess,
We are going
unless
to
this kid's
take
adopted.
still pictures and maybe short video clips for the Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, Instagram and TikTok.
People say
Everyone
good comments
on
about
this
our
show is a
relationship.
fucking sex worker.
I have get hear everything like you are such a and you should kill yourself and you are so ugly, you are ruining yourself.
Looks like a
and
blank.
They're just comment for me. I really don't
No,
think they are
just
like,
no. Yeah, no.
Oh my God, my life is ruined now. Somebody who I don't know doesn't like me. So
That don't matter.
Okay, well, add me to that list. Add me to the list of somebody you don't know who doesn't like you. I mean, granted, you could be a good person and you could be a good wife to this guy. You all seem happy. I'm not judging you for your love. So this is the other thing about love don't judge that we don't talk about a lot. It has nothing to do with this guy. I mean, this guy seems weird enough that he likes your weird and your weird seems compatible. But quite frankly, you both seem like you make dumb decisions together, and that's just not good for society.
Vähän jotain hassua. Yes.
But at least you found a way to make money on fucking
Are you
Instagram.
worried about the risks involved with getting more surgery?
I will tell her to stop surgery if there is a big risk for infection or sepsis.
or dying.
Or dying.
I have learned to appreciate myself and enjoy life more than I have ever done before. Thanks for Harry. And it's wonderful to be different.
We are enjoying life.
The way it is and the way we are building it.
Look, it just seems like they make stupid decisions together. This doesn't seem that controversial. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing that. All right. Yeah. I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I just hate the fact that they seem dumb. But at least to some degree, are these surgery? I'm assuming they are paying for the surgeries. I don't know if this is government funded plastic surgery. Like I never really heard what country they were from. I guess I must have missed that if it was ever shown. But like if they're working to pay for these surgeries, I don't have a problem with it as long as nobody else has to pay for it. Make your own decision, make your own dumb decisions with your own money and your own family all day. I don't care. You do look ugly and you look like you make dumb decisions. I mean, that's literally the extent of my judgment here. And to me, any of the online hate you got was just literally calling you ugly. I mean, I think that's what you signed up for. I think that's what you signed up for when you went from being a normal person to one of these people who had to have their body modified in such dramatic fashion. But this attitude of I'm going to outlast the haters. I'm supportive of the attitude. I just think it's misplaced in this particular instance. I don't think you were getting that much hate. I think you're just fucking fragile. But outlast the damn haters. So you may notice I got a bunch of comic books behind me. I'm gonna do a few show notes real quick and then we'll wrap up the show. I'm not gonna do a comic review stream quite yet. I've been reading a bunch. So I'm not gonna do a comic review stream this week. I might do one next week. I'm thinking about ways to actually start monetizing the channel, and so I might do like the comic review streams and some bonus streams as a way to entice super chats in the future. I don't want your super chats now though, but it's just something I'm kind of throwing around. Another idea I had, my original plans for next weekend. You may be familiar with, May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, May 4th. People call it Star Wars Day or May the 4th be with you, which I think is dumb. So we have these two things coming up next weekend, and I was thinking about getting out of the house for some of them. Also, one of the theme parks near me is opening for the season. It's opening kind of late this year, but it's opening day on the 4th. And so I was kind of thinking about maybe doing a mixture of that next weekend, next Saturday. And which would require a lot of rearranging of my normal schedule. I was thinking about postponing my show to sometime Sunday afternoon. And then I was following a bunch of people online and I realized that, the guy on YouTube and Rumble known as Camelot331, well, he's been doing a lot of ARCA NASCAR racing. And, it's kind of been a big thing a little bit, a big shout out to Camelot331, Cody Dennison. Cheers. He's been doing decent. He's not been winning races, but only one guy can win. And definitely there are little victories in doing better and better and better and improving and, being able to finish races and, being able to finish races in decent positions and, cheers to him and good luck. But next weekend, he's going to be racing at Kansas Speedway. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's a pretty short drive from where I'm at, and tickets are pretty cheap. So I'm kind of debating on whether I should do, one of my 30-minute on location streams where I just kind of talk about what's relevant to my life and do it kind of on location from out by Kansas Speedway somewhere in the mid-afternoon. That way I could try to squeeze all this shit into one weekend and still not miss a show. So I right now I have a post up over on Twitter. So down in the description are links to all my social media. So if you can go find me on X and just let me know what you think. Should I go to the race next week, even if it means I have to do a shortened show or a rescheduled show? I definitely like when people follow me in the chat. It's a little harder to follow the chat when you're on location. I generally do a pretty decent job with that, but sometimes I have to just stream to YouTube or there's more room for error when you're streaming on location. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I am willing to give it a shot. So let me know. Do you think I should go to the race, or do you think I should, try to just make everything happen without missing the show and not go to the race? I don't know. Still debating on it, but give me your input. I saw where TMF Squid, who sometimes will watch my show, I saw where he posted that he was considering going to the race. I wouldn't mind meeting people out there if you're planning on going. Singling 86 says doing one comic from at least 20 years ago and one from the last month or year could be interesting. My show kind of started out not doing exactly that, but yeah, I was kind of covering old trade paperbacks and then more recent issues at the beginning. Like that was what my show was going to be. I was trying to be kind of like Comics Matter with your boy Zach. That was my original plan for the channel, was to kind of just do comic book reviews. And I kind of quickly got out of that and got more into politics and more into just chit chatting with people about the current issues of the day and the viral trends of the day, and talking a lot about women. But yeah, the comic review streams I kind of keep as a special thing, and yeah, doing one comic, I try to kind of build up like a good 3 or 4 comics, or do a whole run. Like my whatever next comic review stream I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be reviewing the entire Rebirth Justice League Dark by James Tynion, and then later Ram V. I'm gonna be reviewing that probably on the next stream. And then so yeah, I bought all these old issues. Last trip to the comic shop. These here, this one and this one. Well, I had that one for a while. You saw it on previous streams, and that was a couple streams ago. I bought that one, but these 3 are new. I bought them mainly because this one here, and here I go going off on a tangent about comic books. This here, Detective Comics 826, is my favorite Batman comic. Batman's not even in it, but it's my favorite Batman related comic ever. It's Paul Dini. It's a one issue story about the Joker kidnapping Robin. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's also in one of the trade paperbacks over here. So anyway, but I never had the single issue. And I'm like, you know what? I should just buy the damn single issue. That way, if anyone asks me, what's your favorite Batman comic? I could be like, this one right here. This is the best written Batman comic ever. Okay, anyway, so there's that. There was another show note. Well, I fucking missed it, lost it. My memory's not doing so well, and I'm not necessarily having the best day. I had to go to a funeral earlier. I guess that may have been it. Yeah, just follow me on social media, and if I need to move a show, I'll let you know on any of the social media below. But yeah, I'm leaning toward going to the race next weekend. If you're in the chat, follow me in the chat. Come back next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, and we'll do this thing again, and join the chat. Say hello. I'll give you a toast. Oh, damn, that one hit hard. I inhaled it. All right. Yeah. And feel free to let me know your opinions on ways to monetize the channel in the future. And whether or not, my idea of offering an extra show, nicotine is good for memory. Well, I mean, I'm vaping. Although it's synthetic nicotine, so I don't know if that still counts. Anyway, shout out to everyone who's been following the NFL draft. Shout out to anyone who's a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, follow me on all the social media down below. If you could take just a moment, click that like and follow button if you're new here. Click that like and follow button if you're new here. And also if you're new here, click the like button even if you're not new here. I mean, what are you doing? Watching people and not clicking the like button. Anyway, click the like button, and if you're new here, click the follow button. And if you're new here, please share this on other platforms and consider watching a second video. It really helps with algorithms to share things off platform and watch more than one video. But I guess that's it. So to everyone out there, take care of yourselves and each other. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I will catch you next time on Miles Culture Play. Oh, that was the other show note. My outro, I got to stop playing it on YouTube because it's copyrighted music. So if you're on Rumble, you'll hear the outro. If you're on X, you'll hear the outro, which is me singing karaoke to Phil Collins. Phil Collins karaoke. You'll hear the outro if you're on Rumble. If you're on YouTube, well, piss off. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Uh-oh. Didn't have the video ready.